Good morning, this is Marshall Davis. Last time I did an episode on the Beatitudes of Jesus, not knowing if I was going to continue talking about the Sermon on the Mount or not, but I've decided to do at least one more episode, this episode. Jesus follows up his 8 blessings by giving 2 metaphors that point us to our true identity. He calls us salt and light. First he says, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. He calls us salt. Jesus could have called us any number of things. He could have called us immortal souls or mortal creatures, but he did not. He did not say that we were lost sinners, bound for hell, who needed to be saved from the wrath of God through the human sacrifice of himself on the cross. Such a thought never would have entered his mind. Jesus called us salt. He says we are the salt of the earth, and then goes on to emphasize the saltiness. The Upanishads make the same point. The Chandogya Upanishad says there's a dialogue in it between a father and a son, and the son is inquiring about the true self. Please, Father, tell me about this self, he says. Yes, dear one, I will, the father said. Place the salt in water and bring it here tomorrow morning. The boy did. Where is the salt? His father asked. I do not see it. Sip here. How does it taste? Salty, Father. And here? And there? I taste salt everywhere. It is everywhere, though we see it not. Just so, dear one, the self is everywhere within all things, although we see him not. There is nothing that does not come from him. Of everything he is the inmost self. He is the truth. He is the self supreme. You are that, my friend, my son. You are that. I would say you are that, my friend. These words from the Upanishads sound similar to something that Jesus says in the Gospel of Thomas. Jesus said, I am the all. Cleave a piece of wood and I am there. Lift up a stone and you will find me there. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus calls us salt and makes a point that we are to be salty. I ask, if we are salt, how can we not taste salty? And that's his point. In one sense, we cannot be other than our true self. How can the chemical compound NaCl, sodium chloride, not be salty? It's impossible. It's its nature. We are what we are, the one, by nature. And we cannot be other than that. Jesus is saying that we are to be our true self. And if we are conscious of our true nature, it will show. Yet many people are not aware of that and are not consciously living what they are. Some people, like Jesus, for example, are clearly aware of who they are and are living and speaking a life that is transparent to their true nature. They live lives that clearly point beyond themselves to the eternal. Jesus said, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. He knew who and what he was, and it showed in his life and in his words. Jesus is pointing us to self-realization of who we are. Jesus is saying that if our true nature is eternal, then we will look and sound and act like the eternal. If we are children of God, as Jesus calls us, then we will look and act and sound like God. Just like salt tastes like salt. If it doesn't, something's wrong. He is saying that we are to be what we are. And it is easy as that. I have quoted previously an old country preacher who said, be who you is and not who you ain't, because if you ain't who you is who you ain't. You are the salt of the earth. That's who you is. Be that now. Now. No need to wait for more knowledge in your head or some type of special spiritual experience called awakening or enlightenment or something like that. An experience is not going to change what you are. You are what you are now. You are being. So be. Live as being. Jesus makes the same point with another metaphor. He calls us a light. He says, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Jesus says in the Gospel of John, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. When you are what you are, people will see. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, I am the light that is over all things. I am all. From me all came forth, and to me all attained. Split a piece of wood, I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there. In the Upanishads, the king Janaka asks, when the sun sets and the moon sets and the fire goes out and no one speaks, what is the light of man? The sage responds, the self, indeed, is the light of man, your majesty. For by that we sit, work, go out, and come back. Who is that self? The king asks. The self, pure awareness, shines as the light within the heart. We are light, according to Jesus. Light illuminates everything, yet does not shine on itself. Light cannot illuminate who we are, because we are not an object. We are that by which objects are seen. We're not the body. We are not the brain. Both of those are objects. And we are not the persona, which is a construction of the brain. We are that by which everything is seen, but which itself cannot, but which cannot see itself. Therefore, to see what we are is a tricky matter. Just like an eye cannot see itself, so we cannot see objectively our true self. People seem to assume that we should be able to identify who or what we are, but we can't. That is why this self-knowledge is so elusive, because we are not objects to be aware of. Anything that we can be aware of is obviously not us. We are that which is aware. We cannot see what or who we are, and yet we know we are. We know the statement, I am, is true, even if we cannot be certain about anything else. Everything else in this world that we see as objects might be a dream or hallucination or a deception, like Neo stuck in the Matrix before he wakes up. But we know that the dream or the hallucination must be appearing to someone, something, and that awareness is what we are. The things we know about this world are seen with distorted sight. We see as through a glass darkly, the Apostle Paul says. We can only be aware of things through our senses, which are very imperfect instruments, and through our brain, which is also very imperfect. For that reason, the world is not what we think it is. And we cannot be exactly sure what it is. But we are absolutely sure that we are. I am. I am that I am. We are being. We are light, by which everything is known, is seen. We cannot see what we are, but we see because we are light. That is what Jesus meant when he said, "You are the light of the world." That is what Jesus meant when he said, "I am the light of the world." There is one light, and we are that light. John said of Christ, "In him was life, and the life was the light of men, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot extinguish it." You are the light of the world. Jesus said, "A town built on a hill cannot be hidden, neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Jesus instructs us to shine. Light by nature cannot do otherwise. It shines. Light that does not shine is not light, any more than salt that is not salty. What good is light placed under a basket, says Jesus. Be who you are. Let your light shine. Jesus is telling us to be what we are. The irony is that we cannot not be what we are. Just try to not be. We can't do it. You just are. Knowing that is enlightenment. The word enlightenment comes from the word light. Does the light have to do anything to be enlightened? Of course not. You do not have to do anything or have any special spiritual experience or have any special ideas or go through any religious rituals or join any organizations. All you have to do is be what you already are. You are light. That means you are enlightened. You are the salt of the earth. Call it saved if you want, or redeemed, or forgiven. That's the terms that Christians use. Or call it whole, or one, or awake, or whatever term resonates with you. That's what you are. Be what you is. That's it for today. Grace and peace to you.